Hello, and welcome to That Canon Guy's Reviews. Today, I will be doing my full view of the Sony Alpha NEX 5N. This camera right here. I've been playing with this camera for probably around 2.5 weeks now. Using it, testing it, doing all normal stuff I do with my camera, and sorry for that little scratch thing there. I'm using a Kodak EasyShare M580 to film this, my backup camera, and it has a big scratch on the lens, so sorry if that shows up in the video for you. But anyway, like I said, I've been using this for a while, and I really like it first off, right off the bat. And I chose this over the Sony NEX 5N because I was able to buy this for, I think, right at $300 or just a little bit over $300 from LensRentals.com used, and in very good condition. So, and of course the NEX 5R at the minimum costs around $600, twice what I paid for this, and this really doesn't have fewer features except that it does not have the hybrid autofocus, which is phase detect as well as contrast detect autofocus. This one just has contrast detect, and also does not have Wi-Fi or the play memory store, which I use only manual focus lenses. I might get an autofocus lens one of these days, but mostly manual focus. And I have a Pentax 110 24mm f2.8 lens, which I've been using on this camera for a little while now. So let's just look around the camera body. On the front, you have the Sony Alpha logos, infrared remote port, and this is a magnesium alloy body, so very sturdy. Well, AF assist beam, lens release button, 60.1 megapixels, it says right there, and then the lens mount here. Then if you pop that off, you have your little contacts, and also the lens mount E-mount, and then the APS-C size 16.1 megapixel image sensor. Then on this side, you have your neck or wrist strap eyelet, your mini USB port, and mini HDMI port. On this side, right here, I accidentally peeled off the screen a little bit. It had the original sticker on there. I thought that was it. I peeled that off a little bit. I super glued it back down, so it works just fine. Nothing wrong with it. It had your little tilty, swivelly, super high definition touchscreen, which I found the touchscreen to be very nice, very responsive. You have your display button, which says a little thumb wheel, middle button. Then you have three customizable buttons. The right hand dial button right there, middle button, and the bottom button, which I've all customized. I'll show you those. And metering modes and exposure compensation. Your timer, drive modes, pretty much, if I can't in terms. But it's the timer, the continuous burst, which this thing can do amazing 10 frames per second, which is just crazy. Then the display button, and then this is the menu button, and also a couple other things. And then it has this nice little thumb grip. It's one thing I really like about this camera. It is very sturdy, first of all, but it really has a good grip. It's deep, very good contoured grip that really, your hand really sinks into it and really works. And then on the top here, you have your left and right stereo microphones, NEX 5N, HD AVC HD, and 5N logos all in there. You have your smart accessory terminal, which I will have a full video, so watch on like all the lenses, accessories. It'll be a long video, but it'll be a complete guide to every single accessory you can get for your NEX that I think is worth getting, aside for a couple that I don't have yet, but that'll be coming up soon with all the manual focus lenses. Let's power it on. There's the power switch, playback and movie buttons, and the little shutter button. And then there's a speaker for playback. Then on the bottom, you have your tripod socket, a little Sony sticker, and then this battery door, which unlike most battery doors, this one is very solid. I'm very, very surprised how solid that one feels. Also, it's a very large battery. This is a generic one. I also have the original. I just bought 2 extra generic battery packs, which actually have a larger MAH thing, which I'll probably show you in that one video. And then I have a Sony 94 megabytes per second, the fastest card you can possibly get, 16 gigabyte card, which I got for only $14, so pretty inexpensive for those Sony cards, and they're extremely fast. Okay, so let's power the camera on here. You're seeing through the 24mm. Okay. Put in a new card. Okay. And here is your screen. I have the touchscreen turned off, and let's go through the menus. If you want to skip, I will have a little button here if I can figure it out to skip past all the menus and stuff and just go to how all the controls and stuff. But anyway, let's look through the menus for those who want to see. First of all, you have your shoot modes, which you have program auto, aperture priority, shutter priority, manual exposures, 3D sweep panorama, anti-motion blur, scene selection, intelligent auto, and then back to program auto. And in the in the scene selection, you have portrait, handheld twilight, night scene, night portrait, sunset, sports action, macro, landscape, and then portrait again. And that's about it for that. And camera modes here. You have drive mode, flash mode, autofocus, manual focus, select, autofocus area, autofocus mode, object tracking, precision digital zoom, face detection, face registration, smile shutter, soft skin effect, shooting tip list, LCD display, finder display, and display button. And then over here, image size, you have still, image size, and right now I'm shooting in RAW. Always shoot in RAW if you can, that's always the best. 3:2 aspect ratio, but they also have different options for RAW plus JPEG, fine, and standard. And 3D panorama, image size, panorama direction, then panorama, image size, panorama direction, then movie. This one has a slew of shooting options for movies. It is a fully featured movie camera. And just one, I guess I'll save it till afterwards, but okay. So AVC HD 60i or 60p and MP4, which I like to shoot in AVC HD. Then you have 24p at either lower or higher quality, 60p, and then 60i at either higher or lower quality. Which 60i is 60 interlaced, 24 and 60p are both 60 and 24 progressive frames. Do not want to shoot an interlace unless you're shooting for TV, because otherwise it gives this really weird choppy effect. But anyway, brightness and color, exposure compensation, ISO, white balance, metering mode, flash compensation, dynamic range optimizer or auto HDR, picture effect, creative style, and then back to exposure compensation. One thing I really like about this camera is all the exposure modes and just the fully featuredness of it. It has a lot of features. More than I had on my Canon EOS 40D, which I needed this one to shoot movies. Plus I actually sold my Canon EOS 40D for more than I bought this one. I sold it for like $325, and it's actually, I consider this one a lot better. Hey, then playback, delete, slideshow, view mode, image index, rotate, protect, 3D viewing, enlarge image, volume settings, scene, specify printing, and that. And then setup, autofocus illuminator, red eye reduction, finder LCD setting, live view display, auto review, grid line, peaking level, peaking color, manual focus assist time, color space, steady shot, release without lens, eye start autofocus, front curtain shutter, long exposure noise reduction, high ISO noise reduction, lens, what is that called? It's probably lens compensation for shading, chromatic aberration, and distortion. Movie audio record, wind noise reduction, autofocus micro adjust, menu start, custom key settings, touch operation. I'll turn that on so I can preview it later here. Beep, should turn that on too. Language, date time setup, area setting, help guide display, power save, LCD brightness, display color, wide image, playback display, HDMI resolution, control for HDMI, USB connection, cleaning mode, version, demo mode, reset default, format, file number, folder name, select shoot folder, new folder, recover image database, and display card space. As you see, a very large menu there, and I'll show you the touchscreen here. It's very responsive. You touch, it goes. It's really nice. And then if you want to change something, you just touch it, change it, touch it, change it. Very easy. You go back. And then on the main one here, I have some custom stuff set. Like when I press the middle button, I can change my quality, dynamic range, white balance, and ISO. And when I press the right button, I can change my creative style. Bottom button is exposure compensation. Then drive mode, it's their single shooting, remote control, bracketing, self-timer, 10 seconds, or custom 3, and then speed priority, which I'll show you that for a second. It's pretty amazing. And RAW, you can shoot 10 frames. I found in JPEG. Let's give you a preview here. Just a minute. JPEG at fine resolution. You can shoot. It slows down after about 10 frames, but it actually is very, 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 very fast to recover. As you can see, it's shooting about 5 frames per second, 4 frames per second after it stops. There's 94 megabytes per second card, and it's instantly done buffering there. So I highly recommend getting one of those cards. Very useful. Let's just switch to standard. It's a little bit lower quality. Let's see what that does. Yeah, no faster. A little bit faster here, but overall, it's extremely impressive in that continuous shooting mode. And switch it back to RAW here. Yep, I guess I have a manual focus thing there. And that's about it for that. And so basically what I have and doing with this camera, I've done a lot of movie recording, and one of the big complaints of everybody is that it's getting way too warm and overheating. I have shot probably 6 hours of movie total on this so far. I've had no problem overheating whatsoever. I've recorded 30-minute long movies and then stopped that movie, recorded another 30-minute long movie right on top of that, and then recorded another 5 minutes top of that. So an hour and 5 minutes straight with the screen up like this in a 75-degree basement. I've had zero problem with it overheating, and it gave the little heat warning after an hour and 5 minutes, but it's really a non-issue for me. I've had no problems with it. When I was holding it like this, which that was on a tripod, when I was holding it like this, walking around with it, it lasted about 45 minutes. Still a very acceptable result. And I'm really not having a problem with it whatsoever. And other than that, I found the touchscreen controls to be very intuitive, and I'm not finding a problem not to be able to change the settings except through the menus. I think it's okay, and it's working pretty well. And overall, that's about what I think of the camera. I really like it. I would suggest it to anybody. Like I said, upgrade for a Canon EOS 40D. And I say this is quite a worthwhile upgrade from that. So thank you for watching, and if you like our videos, please hit the subscribe button above as well as the like button below, and leave a comment, question, suggestion, anything like that. And just check our other videos. Thanks for watching.